IAM roles and everything. So before we go into Amazon command line, we will see something more onto this IAM lab. Okay, now why I'm going to IAM? Basically, I'm logged into a particular terminal. Now you can see here, look at this. How do we now this is an IP, this is a machine, right? This is an AWS small machine, and this machine is equipped with an AWS CLI software. AWS CLI software. This is a client software, you can say, command line interface. So when you say AWS command line interface documentation, you can go ahead and download for your Windows as well, and you can also download it for your Mac and Linux as well. Okay, so I have already downloaded and installed it on my PC. Now if I want to do it invoke in my PC, then I can certainly use command prompt, and I'm going to use AWS. Okay, I'm going to say S3 for my buckets and LS to list them. So I'm just simply saying AWS S3 LS. So it is taking a lot of time. So it's basically the latency between my internet and Amazon, and depending on my speed. So instead of I do this, so here you can see it is saying Datanza bucket 02, Datanza London bucket 02, blah blah. So it is taking some time. So rather I use this, what I can do is I can certainly go to the computer where I have done. So this is an EC2 instance. From here I can do AWS configure. Now before we do this, what we'll do is let us go ahead and create another user. I'm going back to the console, going to the services. Okay, identity access manager under security, identity and compliance. I'm going to create another admin user, and I'm going to create that user only, but the purpose is only meant for administering from command line. So I'm going to call that user as a CLI admin user. I'm giving him pragmatic access only. I'm not giving him AWS management console access, so he will not be able to log into the web page. Okay, but he will be able to do everything from the command line. So next I'm going to permission, so I can just simply directly attach him an existing policy. Let me give this administrator access for now, let it be. Okay, so create policy, I selected, next review, administrator access, create user. Okay, now see the access keys and the secret access key. Download the CSV, open it. Okay, where is the CSV we got? Is it downloaded? Okay, now open this file. Okay, here we go, we got this access key and the secret code key, so we are good with this. Now CLI admin, when I try to log in as a CLI admin, remember, look at this, I am doing this from global zone. I am not located into any zones. So this is again important interview questions. If you are planning to create a role or user, which zone you want to select? Okay, so the option is going to be a global zone irrespective of any changes, because IAM is global to all the locations. So you can have one login using which you can access all of them. Okay, so now I created a user basically. Okay, now what is happening is, now let me try to log in as this user. Okay, so remember, this user does not mean to log in to your operating system only. It is meant for your AWS. Okay, that can be a web console or that can be your command line console. This is not meant for your computer, because the computer, this is how you have been accessing EC2-user and the IP address, and you have a private key and .pm. So those key pairs basically you use to connect to your server. So understand that the IAM users that we are creating, that is only for the access management for the Amazon Web Service. So that is Amazon Web Service user, not an operating system. So how do I configure that AWS user in any computer? It can be my desktop, Windows, it can be your Ubuntu desktop, it can be your Linux desktop. So I'm using this Amazon EC2 instance as my desktop or my handy workstation, and I'm going to say here AWS configure. See, it is asking me AWS access ID. Okay, you want to log into Amazon console. What is your access ID? I'm saying this is my access ID. It is going to ask what is your secret key. Oh, here it is my secret key. It is asking for a default region name. Now this is somewhat interesting. Now if you want to see something from Mumbai region, you can set it to Mumbai. But if you know, like we were working in the London region, so we can go ahead and specify London region, because in Mumbai region you don't have any EC2 instance. In London region you have some EC2 instance. So if you want to keep your London region as a default for you, you can certainly go ahead and use this London region. So how do I get this availability zone, or this London availability zone? So I can give it like EU West -2A. So this is where I get the availability zone. I can give 2A, 2B, 2C, but I can certainly also, you can do is AWS, you can say regions and endpoints. So you can say search for AWS regions and endpoints, regions and availability zones. You can see there is a big list of these things is available. So you can simply scroll down and you can see London is EU West 2. So what was there in our case? EU West -2 or 2A. So basically don't give 2, give the region name. You don't need to give the availability zone. It is asking for the region name, so you don't need to supply A, B or C out here. Okay, default output format. Now you have logged in. Okay, so basically you did not, to the computer you are already logged in. You are now logged into the AWS console. Now we are going to learn about few commands. AWS S3LS. So it is saying you got 2 buckets here. You can see this. Okay, so you can say AWS S3LS. You can do AWS EC2LS. Oh, sorry. Okay, so EC2LS, so it says gives a lot of comment. No, boss. So basically there is different comments that we need to run to do this thing. So okay, so what we are going to do here is few CLI comments that we will see. For example, see, these are few CLI S3 regions and lab and all these comments. Now see how we can go ahead and work. So AWS configure, we see AWS S3LS basically shows your buckets. AWS EC2 describe -instances. So let me go ahead and say like AWS describe -instances. See, run instances, start instances, terminate instances, stop instances. So we got a lot of options. So I'm going to say describe. Now see, what is this? It is showing. It is showing one instance. It is basically a state of terminated. Launch time was this. User has initiated, and availability zone is EU West 2B. So this is one instance which is terminated. Okay, now this is another instance. So this is also terminated. Now here is another instance that is basically turned on. So it's saying that it is running. Okay, so this is basically a JSON format that it is showing, and there's a few other things that is terminated. So the one which is running, it's having a group name called as my DMZ is the security group. This is the subnet, the MAC address, VPC, default VPC that it has. So basically the whole information about the instance that you are going to describe over here. This is the public DNS of your instance. Okay, so that's it. Now what we will do is, now we will just go back and see to our couple of buckets and we'll see what is there. If you guys remember, we did an AWS a long time back, we did created an AWS bucket region cross region replication we have done. Okay, so you see this US East Ohio and EU London. So in Datanza bucket 02, oh god, we got a lot of files. Let me delete most of them. Okay, whatever it is, let it be. So we got Datanza bucket 02, that is in East Ohio, and this is EU London. This has got this much of files. Okay, so let me delete some set of files and see how this is working. Okay, so this is two files is there in my London bucket. Okay, so in my London bucket you can see two files is there, and in my bucket in Ohio I got basically two files, a lot of files basically. Now if I want to copy some files from here to here, how are we gonna do that? And that we are going to see it from the command line. So let's go back to command line. I'm going to do something like this: AWS S3. Okay, I'm going to say ls. So it will give me all the buckets. Now I'm going to say AWS S3 ls. Okay, I'm going to say S3 colon double slash Datanza bucket 02. So these are the files present basically inside this Datanza bucket 02. Okay, I'm giving the other bucket name. So you can just keep on putting a slash. Let me try AWS services png. So see, this is how you can ls the file. Now what I want to do is, let's talk about this. What is the select1.sql is not here in London bucket, right? Now let me copy this from this location to here. So what I can do is AWS S3. Okay, I can say cp. So how do I represent this select.sql? So I'm going to say S3 colon double slash Datanza bucket 01 slash, I can say select1.sql bucket. Okay, so I'm going to copy it to the Datanza London bucket. So let me copy paste London bucket. That's it. See, it has been copied. Now let us see and verify this. Did we got the file? Okay, here we got it. Right? Now there is also other way around. What we can do is we can also test the comments like this. For example, you want that file to be copied to your current location. Okay, now this Datanza bucket 02 is from Ohio location. Okay, now let me do one thing. First thing, AWS S3 cp. I'm using London bucket and the file name is select1.sql to my current location, or I can say to /tmp location. So from bucket to my local location I'm doing this. Oh, this worked pretty good. Since /tmp we got select1.sql. Now I want to do the same thing. See, try to understand the difference here. I'm going to do the same thing from Datanza bucket 02. Now I did from London, right? Now I want to do it from Ohio. Okay, so it is copied. Now if you want to copy a particular file, for example touch, or you can say if config. Okay, so if config output to /tmp/netter.out. Now I want to copy this file cp s3. Okay, now let me say like this way: cp aws s3 cp, the source file name, the destination location is going to be s3 colon double slash, put it in the Datanza London bucket. It is uploading. Okay, good. Or you can simply put it as a Datanza bucket. Okay, so this is done. So the buckets are basically global. So optionally we can also specify as a hyphen region EU waste -2. So that is also possible. So this is how few comments we said. You can certainly go ahead AWS S3 help and you can explore a lot many comments. Okay, similar way you can say AWS EC2 help. Okay, so you can be able to see these comments. Okay, now one thing is important, try to understand this. We are talking about IAM roles. Now I have logged into this location. I'm doing cd or I'm doing cd home. See, there is a folder called as a hidden folder called as a AWS. I did not create this, it is already present here. I'm doing cat slash credentials. So there is a file called as a credentials. Oh, so if you see this, the access key, the secret key, and both are present over here. So this is something is going to be, an issue basically. So in the server, in the home location, if more secure users are there, they will be able to see these access keys and the secret access keys that has been used. So if somebody gets to know the secret access keys and you got an admin access role, you can do certainly anything. Certainly you can launch about 20 instances. It will bill you like some thousands of dollars in a day of time. So this can be pretty risky. So that is where instead of using direct policies, we are supposed to use something called as a roles. Now in order to use roles, we can certainly go ahead and IAM management console. We'll go to the roles. Okay, now we have AC2 read only. We'll create a role basically. So the roles are basically there for for each and every service that you want to manage. We are going to manage an AC2 instance. So for that we are going to create a role. So I'm clicking on AC2 instance. Okay, next permission I'm checking. Let me give it simple administrator access. Okay, click on next, create a role. I will say S3 EC2 admin access. That's it. Create a role. Now the important thing, we did create a role basically. Now this role, all you need to do is go ahead and assign it to your basically instances. So you can go ahead to an existing EC2 instance, and for an existing for new EC2 instance, it does asks you like what role you want to give. But for existing instances, what you can do is you can certainly go to action window. Okay, these are my instances. It is running. I'll click on the instances, and then he says instance. We can change the security. Change. Where is that option? Attach or replace IAM role. Instance settings. You can go to attach and replace IAM roles. Click on that. Now here saying the IAM role is nothing. EC2 admin read only access. I'm clicking on admin access. So what will happen when you give this role to a particular instance? So you don't need to give this, access key or secret access key. So basically, that EC2 instance can be logged in as like this. For example, I'm saying exit. Okay, I'm gonna do AWS configure. I'll give nothing, default US reason. Let me give some reason, for example. Sorry. So what I was talking about. So I'm just gonna take that region and I'm gonna put it back. Okay, so default region name EU West 2. I'm giving enter. Okay, now I'm going to the same location, cd home location, cd space dot aws. Sorry. Okay, so here you see you do not have the credentials as being seen here. So it is good practice to create a roles and assign those roles to basically your EC2 instances, so that you don't need to deal with this access key or secret key all the times. Okay, so identity access manager we discussed, which will looked into few AWS S3 CLI command lines. We can see how to copy your files using AWS command line or describe your instances. Okay, so if you are good, we'll have a small break, then we will continue with more little advanced topics on elastic load balancer and